Hey guys, in this video we're going to be going over the revamped Striker Titan, in addition to talking about how subclasses in general have been revamped. So, like I mentioned in my first impressions, the core of the Striker Titan experience hasn't really changed. You still run in and smash stuff, that's basically the core. You're on the front lines. The first major change is to Fist of Havoc. It is now Fists of Havoc, where it is a roaming super. You slam to activate it, and then you can keep slamming for large chunks of your super meter, or you can launch into a shoulder charge that works very similarly to Sun Charge on Sunbreaker Titans. The radius did feel slightly smaller, and the launch distance felt slightly shorter, but I only got to super a few times, so I'll need to ask around to see if anyone really felt the same. Grenades are still the same in terms of which grenades and function. Flashbangs still blind stuff, pulses still pulse, but lightning grenade does not activate immediately anymore. Instead, it sort of charges up like a hunter trip mine grenade does, then starts pulsing for damage. This makes it a bit easier to avoid that initial tick of damage that is almost impossible to avoid in Destiny 1. Movement abilities are also the same: increased lift, catapult, increased control. However, Titan skating via increased control is basically gone from Destiny 2, at least in this version of the build, although I don't see them bringing it back. You have a lot more upward momentum now in Destiny 2. I didn't try out catapult because I wanted to do as many tests on skating as I could, not that I'm that great at it or anything, but from what I've been able to tell, it's pretty much gone. Next up, we have the new class ability, or like mini super as I've been calling it, Barricade. You have two options for Barricade: Rally Barricade or Towering Barricade. Rally Barricade puts up a waist-high wall for you to use as cover, and whenever you use the cover to hide, your gun instantly reloads. So basically, you pop this, then when you want to aim and shoot, you don't need to crouch or anything. The game just pops you over the barricade for you automatically when you aim, and then when you let go of aiming, you will duck automatically and your gun will reload, and then you can just tap aim again and you pop back over. Did you know that this mechanic exists in Destiny 1? It's true. Aiming behind appropriately sized cover makes your character do this, minus the instant reload of course. It's just that no one ever used it at all because you never really had the opportunity to. But now that you have a portable shield, you do, and it's pretty neat. The Towering Barricade is basically the same thing, but it's double in size, so it's used for protection or area denial. The armor, recovery, and agility stat upgrades are gone and have been put onto gear instead, so that leaves us with a slightly barren-looking subclass. Now, you can see we have these two blocks of perks, and both of them play to a specific theme, as they do for all the subclasses per block. And based on an interview with IGN, linked in the description to the relevant section, it appears that you'll end up picking one of the two blocks of perks. The reasoning is that Bungie wanted to streamline this experience. They didn't want people to have to worry about optimizing their builds. They would just rather give you an optimized or themed build. This just appears to be yet another thing designed for the casual audience to take advantage of. There are some positives and some negatives to this. Negatives are mainly the fact that you lose out on your customization. You can't just freely pick any individual perk anymore. It limits choice, at least compared to Destiny 1. However, there weren't really that many builds in Destiny 1 that people used in the first place, maybe with one perk alterations here and there, so streamlining makes sense, because why bother having 10 perks when people only use 2 or 3 of them? I'll keep this brief because I could go on for a while about this, but if I wanted to run with an abnormal build in Destiny 1, I could do that. I could just do whatever I want, but in Destiny 2, I don't think I'll be able to do that, and that's pretty disappointing to me. So in the Code of the Juggernaut block of nodes, we have some spin-offs of some old perks and then some new stuff. Frontal Assault gives increased weapon stability after meleeing. Reversal, aka Transfusion, melee kills trigger health regen. Knockout, where breaking enemy shields increases your melee range, and Trample, where sprinting makes your Fist of Havoc last longer and killing enemies with Fist of Havoc increases its duration. I'm not sure if Reversal procs on every melee kill or just Storm Fist charged kills. So the focus here is obviously melee attacks. 3 out of the 4 perks are melee attack focused, and you could argue somewhat that Fist of Havoc is somewhat melee focused. Then in the other section, we have Shoulder Charge, Aerial Strike, where the longer you're in the air, the more damage Fist of Havoc does, which is pretty cool. Magnitude, aka Aftershocks, increases the duration of grenades and Aftermath. And then you have Aftermath itself, where Fist of Havoc now disorients enemies in addition to leaving the AoE field. The focus here appears to be aerial attacking and enhancing your Fist of Havoc. So some new stuff in there, some old stuff that was nice to have as well. Overall, Striker Titan feels like a slightly improved, more streamlined experience compared to Destiny 1, with Fist of Havoc being a roaming super now and the Rally Barricade being very good to keep you active on the field and provide protection. It didn't really feel like the shoulder charge aspect of Fist of Havoc did a lot of damage to enemies in PvE. It's definitely more of a PvP thing to make them a little more viable with regards to their super, but in PvE, I think I'll probably just end up trying to smash a couple of big groups of enemies and then move on, assuming nothing else changes. So yeah, that's the revamped Striker Titan. It's still going to play like the Striker Titan you know now for the most part, but the fact that Fist is a roaming super in Destiny 2 is a pretty significant buff to Striker Titan viability in basically all categories of the game. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.